Okay, so when we left off, we were gonna problem solve for a student whose tier placement isn't filling in. So we know their testing stopped when they were at a third grade level with 103. And I'm pushing left on my keypad to scroll through the data rather than clicking or scrolling because that way it's harder to lose your place. And let's see if when we enter their maze data, if then we can get a tier placement. They probably didn't do that well. They're on a third grade level. So let's enter some low data for them. Okay. Now if we go all the way back to the end of the spreadsheet, does John have a tier placement? And he does. He placed a tier 3, which is what we would expect for a third grade reader. Okay? So that is pretty much the spreadsheet. These are going to be, so what we do expect to see for this to be complete, and the deadline for completion is still the same. It's that, and I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's that Wednesday of the second week in December. I'll put it in the email, the exact date. And let's just go over what, and this will be due to myself and Erica, and here's what we need done by that day. Every single 6th and 7th grader, the maze data needs to be filled in. Every single one of these blanks should be filled in. If for some reason there is a blank in this data for a very good reason, like, I don't know, the student was abducted by aliens, then please, when you send the spreadsheet, share those reasons. But it's not complete if all this data isn't complete. So we'd see every single maze for every single 6th grader and every single 7th grader and all the 8th graders that you have added in here who have intervention, okay? We need to see column M will need to be completely filled in, fluent, not fluent, all the way down. Again, use the beginning of your data to put that data in because that's going to be the most reliable source, okay? Then for all the kids that have NF, we should see their RCBM data filled in. And their data should, if I like scroll to the right on that data, first of all, I would see like every single correct and error is filled in. And if I keep scrolling to the left, you know, I'll see that their testing was completed. What am I doing here? So either you got to a place where like you couldn't go any further, right? So if they, you know, this color might be red or blue if they tested in one direction until they stopped, or it's green because you tested them and they got to a level where that's their level and then you stopped, okay? If you do have anyone who either falls back or jumps up for more than 4 grade levels, and so sets A, B, C, and D aren't enough for you, let me know, and I will make a note because something really crazy happened with that kid. But I think that this should be sufficient. So for most kids, I'm guessing you're only going to have RCBM data sets, maybe one. If kids made a lot of growth, you might have 2. And probably, I think it's very rare that sets C and D are going to be filled in. So, you know, but they're there in case you need them, in case you do have that kid who made really extraordinary growth. Okay? And then, the last thing I'm going to check to make sure that your data is complete is every single kid should have a suggested tier placement. If every single kid, if you see any of these nums next to your kid's name, that means something's wrong in the spreadsheet and we need you to go back and check it and figure out what it is. And again, please do your very best to enter the data all as accurately as possible. And if you, you know, try to problem solve on your own. And if you do run into errors and you're like, gosh, I really think I have all this kid's data, and for some reason it's still not working, then let me know, okay? And then your final tier placement is the other thing that will have to be filled in and completed by that date. So that's where you're kind of, you know, making those final judgment calls. And I would enroll your teachers in helping you make those decisions. So for example, like, all your tier 1.5 teachers, based on the data alone, a lot of those kids, it might be recommending that they go to tier 1, but those teachers might know, like, hey, his Mays may have gone up, but he's still failing everything in my class, in my tier 1.5. So let's keep him there. So this one is a judgment call, and you can enter whatever you like in here. And we also have kept the notes section, so in case anything comes up, actually this is where I'd like you to, if for some reason you do have nums, or you have that kid that was abducted by alien, put a note here in the notes section, and that way we'll know that the data was complete and you did the best you could with collecting it, and it's not just an oversight. So that is what needs to happen, and then we will be able to upload this data into navigation. And our new goal with our collaboration with the tech team is that we'll be able to do a lot of analysis of this data in navigation that we haven't been able to do before. So that'll be pretty cool. So that's it. Play around with it, and please reach out to me if you have questions. There's one more thing, which is that you can't copy and paste, okay? An entire row. You can't do that. And the reason for that is that breaks spreadsheets because the formulas don't copyright. So you can copy the parts of the spreadsheet that you guys are allowed, right, to change. So if you needed for some reason, so this will be especially appropriate with RCBM. Let's just take that data over there. Let's say you're working between two spreadsheets because yourself and another teacher were RCBM testing kids. You can't copy paste the entire row, but you can copy and paste, the parts of the spreadsheet that you're allowed to edit. But I think it's just a better practice to have one person enter all the data once it's complete and check it all. And that's also a really good way for the literacy specialists to get a feel for what has been happening on their campus and where kind of are the kids. It'd be a good touch point to see all that data. Okay? So I think that's it, and thank you guys for watching, and please reach out to me with any questions. I know that from me and Erica and Emily, and we're so grateful to you guys for your flexibility and for getting this done. I know doing this collection in Excel seems kind of old school, but we still believe that the data portal is going to be a really great tool that we're going to have for years to come once it's set. And this is a little setback, but we're going to collect this information in Excel and then be back on track when we can upload that in navigation. So thank you guys for watching. Okay, bye.